Happy Rom-Com Month, everybody. We are doing 28 Days of Love, and today is day one. I am your host, Melissa Forziat. I'm a keynote speaker, and when I speak, my topic is something that I call Take the Doughnut. It's another way to say Carpe Diem. And for me, it comes from this strange thing that happened in college where I left a real donut on a table and it became an object lesson for me and what it looks like to leave an opportunity behind. So I don't want to do that anymore. I want to take the donut. So from time to time, I'll give myself a challenge. I'll give myself a take the donut challenge. I'll say there's something I want to do, and I'll make it official so that I feel accountable to going after it. And this time, I'm actually opening up that challenge to anybody who wants to join. So we're doing 28 days of love, 28 days of rom-com movies. Again, today is day one. And we are here to watch the movie Dirty Dancing and share 10 things I love about the film, but I'm not doing it alone. I'm very excited to have a guest today, and that guest is Joanna Leunis, who is a professional Latin ballroom dancer, 10-time UK and internationals champion, 8-time Blackpool champion, professional record holder, 1-time Blackpool amateur champion, 5-time professional world champion. I think you're beginning to see exactly why Joanna is here to cover this particular movie. Hello, Joanna. Welcome.
Wow, what an introduction. Thank you for that, Melissa. Very nice to be here from London, from my dance studio in London. So yeah, excited to talk about this iconic movie, of course, Dirty Dancing. Amazing. Thank you.
Uh, I'm so excited to talk with you about this. I think we can all understand exactly why you are the guest for this film. I got the privilege of being able to get a little tour through your space earlier.
Mhm.
Joanna is in her studio right now.
Yep.
This may be an obvious question, but this is one I do intend to ask my guests along the way. Like, what's your background with this film? Like, what made you pick this particular film from the list?
Yeah, well, of course, it's close to my heart because it deals with dancing, particularly ballroom dancing, partner dancing. So, and it's an iconic movie with beautiful actors, Patrick Swayze, of course, and Jennifer Grey. So, of course, it's a beautiful, beautiful movie, but also the whole concept of the human aspect of people communicating, connecting through the dancing. And once I saw it only, I think when I was probably 8 years old or 9 years old, cannot remember. And that just reconfirmed the love and passion that I had for dancing, seeing it on TV and seeing, the emotions and all the feelings that goes with it. And so for me, it was revolutionary. So I'm very excited and glad to be able to go a little bit into details. And with you, of course, it's always challenging, and the rom-com is a new experience for me. But I think I will also enjoy to
Yeah. Well, at
do
the
it.
end of the day, it's just a movie you know really well, and one that
Mm.
seems like it's had an impact on your life. So, before we get into the details of it, I'll give a quick overview of this movie. So, Dirty Dancing is from 1987. It's directed by Emil Ardolino. The writer was Eleanor Bergstein. It stars, as you mentioned, Patrick Swayze as Johnny Castle, Jennifer Grey as Baby Houseman, Jerry Orbach as Jake Houseman, Cynthia Rhodes as Penny Johnson, Kelly Bishop as Marjorie Houseman, Jack Weston as Max Kellerman, Jane Brucker as Lisa Houseman, and Lonnie Price as Neil Kellerman. So that's just some basic details of the movie. And the way that we'll cover this today, we're not doing a full recap, a scene by scene recap of the film. What we're doing is a list of the 10 things we love about it. So I'm going to get the even numbers, Joanna's going to get the odd numbers, and we're just going to share some of the things that we enjoy about Dirty Dancing. So I'm going to start with number 10 on this. Um, I love the depiction of social dancing, both in the main hall where you tend to get the older crowd, and then also like the staff party where you get the younger crowd, and the different styles of dance that you see there. Look, I'm nowhere near Joanna's caliber. If you check out any of her videos, any of her social media, it's absolutely amazing to see what Joanna can do. But I've been in a lot of social dance settings myself. It's a very different thing than a dance class. It's
Right.
a place where you're not necessarily working on technical things as much as trying them out and communicating with people on the floor and dancing with all different types of people in a night. And I
That's
kind of
the
love,
beauty.
yeah, I love to see that shown in this film. A lot of dance films don't actually show that.
No,
Um,
actually, even in competitive dancing, the aspect of being improvisational and being reactive to the moment with a partner, that's actually very, very beautiful. And I wish we had or dancers had the ability to show it even more nowadays of this true reactive sense of interaction between two people, just the way they portrayed it so well in that movie. So you're right, yes, it's a very, very special skill. It's not so easy. I think actually we tend to be so focused on technique, but the true, genuine approach of actually really being in the moment, that's something to also consider.
Yeah, you're right. It is a different skill. It's not just knowing patterns or steps. It's, when you have a partner dance in particular, it's about being able to adapt to
Yeah,
anybody that you're dancing with, no matter where they learned and how they learned the styles and what patterns they know. It's
right.
just finding that way to sort of mesh for a
Mhm.
moment. And there is absolutely nothing, for me, there's nothing in the world like that perfect dance, that moment where it just like you knew exactly what each other was doing and it just feels
Yeah,
exactly right because it wasn't planned but it still feels right.
right. Yeah, that's definitely the cherry on the cake when that happens.
Yeah,
It's the ultimate, yeah, goal for any
yeah.
dancers, I think. But it also comes a little bit from letting it go and not being too stuck to, I think, which you can see also in the movie, the process of how they practiced together, but then they got it a bit more delivered closer to the end project. The first one was a bit fragile still, but then at the end it all came together. But there were also a lot of release of emotions attached. So
It's
yeah.
so true. Yeah, that evolution that we see in Baby especially. Well,
Yeah.
so that was number 10 for me, the social dancing. What do you want to bring in for number 9?
Yeah, number nine. I mean, a little bit as well, that sense of sensuality between two people, the way you can see it even in in different social classes, like you say, with the more conventional uh, group of people that were dancing in the bigger ballroom, the higher ballroom. And I mean, there was a sense of fun and a sense of playfulness between the bodies, and then in the underground one, it was actually a little bit more pure sweat and energy in a different types of way, and the sensuality of the bodies and how they relate to each other. And yeah, it's kind of raw and a bit animalistic as well, but yet with a yeah, a sense of pure dance enjoyment and pure joy of dance. So yeah, for me that's also quite particularly strong statement that comes out in this movie, is that there is no hold back. It's all about the dance and the sensing each other's body, going through the energy. I mean, particularly the great dancers in the movie that you see in the background. I mean, they don't do it half. They go for it fully, and it's got some sense of movement ability. The focus is purely on movement. It's also kind of a bit this line of relationship between them, whether it's more sensual or yeah, or actually playful like in the other sense, but there is some kind of connection, and this connection and this communication is interesting to see and to feel, and it brings something to the emotions, to the adrenalines of the body.
Yeah, you're right. I that is something that really strikes me about this movie. Actually, there's a scene that I think of when you're saying that, and there's that very quiet scene with Johnny Castle and Baby where he's doing the gagum and he's doing the
Oh,
heartbeat, and they're
yeah,
just doing the basic steps to the heartbeat, and
yeah,
it's a quiet version of what you were just saying, but I think it's like that connection, the
yeah,
sensuality of it, dancing
yeah.
literally to a heartbeat.
It's yeah,
Um, it's
yeah,
one of
it's
my favorite
beyond.
moments.
it's beyond the steps, and it's even more than the timing or the steps. It's more about that sense of knowingness of when to say what and when to react and when to go with the partner or when to interact. And it has a very, very sensitive interaction. And yeah, definitely the way that was a beautiful part. I thoroughly loved that one when in a very simple way he explained how to relate. Yeah, beautifully portrayed.
Okay,
Nice.
well, number nine, the sensuality of dancing. That was beautifully said. Let me bring in number eight here. I'm going to say Baby's bravery.
Mm-hmm.
I think actually, like, it's been a few years since I watched this film and I watched it back to have this conversation, and it just really struck me as an adult. Just Baby says the things she thinks. She has a very specific moral code.
Yeah.
It's very specific to her, and she stays in line with it. She stays loyal to who she feels she needs to stay loyal to. She will tell you you're wrong if she thinks you're wrong. She'll tell you she is wrong if she thinks she's wrong. I just she cares about people and she protects the people that she cares about, and and she has a confidence
Mm.
that I'm kind of glad that I saw that when I was younger. Now that I look back at the film, I think it was a really interesting depiction of a young woman sort of coming of age, and I just love that bravery she gives to us.
Nice. Yeah, I actually didn't think of that so much, but yeah, when you are saying it, it rings a bell that it could have triggered also something quite deep in a way of the way she was, yeah, focused and very determined and very well focused on herself and actually not letting other persons dictate her behavior. Really beautifully focused and determined and not giving in or giving up on her self truth and self belief, yet very soft and very kind and caring. Yes, so I think it goes to show when you are focused and determined, but not necessarily to hurt anyone or just to prove a point, to just do it for the pure love or passion. I guess. I mean, I guess in a way she didn't probably know she had that passion, so it also came alive during that camp and meeting and seeing other people. But somehow her character was even more formed because of that dance, because of dance, and yeah, it's definitely a lot of different points in that movie that directs and targets and triggers very strong emotions. I also absolutely love that fact, how direct and committed she was.
Hmm. Yes, yes. I know, yeah, I like your point that there was like a balance of it because there was also a softness that came with that. Um,
Mm.
so what a fun, interesting, full character they gave us with Baby. So that was number eight, but what do you have for
Yeah.
number seven?
Yes, my number seven is possibly also a bit linked to that is the relationship, all the kinds of relationships that were portrayed, and that's a range of different ones. I mean, the relationship with her dad, and she was a bit of a good girl, especially her dad was her hero, was a bit the dominant figure for her, so she had so much respect for him, but towards the middle of the movie she had to stand up to him and like prove herself a bit more, or like put her nails a little bit more um, into the into the meat. So that was definitely a strong bond that they had, but she had to somehow grow out of this bond in a way and then go for it. And then the relationship also, of course, with the mother, which is another type of relationship, a bit more distant, maybe a bit more on the surface, but uh, yeah, we didn't talk about it so much, but in the end of the movie, you can see that still the mother was a bit ruling the whole thing. I noticed, I picked up that she, when she said to the dad, like, sit down now, when she realized basically that there is no holding back. Our daughter is gonna do what she wants to do, and like, let her free. And the relationship with the sister, that also that didn't buckle her in, that didn't make her shake her off a bit, because the sister was quite frustrated, or there was a bit of maybe jealousy as well there. And I picked up as well through the movie quite a few parts where other women were very jealous and competitive. And yeah, so there was also this sense of struggle between a human side of how one perceives the other, and how you react to that. And then you could also immediately feel who actually stays quite genuinely balanced with themselves and not let other influence their behavior. And so, yeah, a lot of different emotions, struggle, but also fear, hope, love, of course, that love that builds through that. And the love as well, the friendly love between, um, I forgot the name.
Johnny.
Um, Johnny,
Hmm.
yes. Johnny and his dance partner,
Penny. Yep. Hmm.
Penny, yes, that sense of, yeah, brother sister love that in the beginning was seen a bit as they are together, but actually they just had a pure friendship between them two. And it's just beautiful to see all these different relationships and how each individual dealt and coped with it. And um, yeah, and also the sense of wanting to be together as a group or with one person, the wanting of part of being with another person. I think that's also very, very strong in this aspect of relationship, that you actually genuinely want to connect and want to feel connected and feel part of a group and feel that you belong, the belonging. I think that's also very beautiful
Now that you
and hard.
mention it, there's actually quite a lot of characters in this film when I think about it. And they're shown to us through these interpersonal relationships that they have. So you're right, there's so many relationship dynamics at play here in this movie, even with a lot of the side characters.
Yeah.
And it makes it feel very full. I almost don't know how they had the time to do all that in this movie.
Yeah, in a way, it's true. It's somehow quite, I wouldn't say simple, but yeah, it's based on human behavior and human. I mean, it's based on many many things, but somehow you see a lot of different feelings and different attitude to lives. Yeah, or the cousin as well. The friendship between the cousin and Johnny, and how they stood up for each other. And yeah, so in that sense, but of course, the main one is the love. And what I found so beautiful as well is that they went for each other. They didn't give up on love, and they kept that genuine feeling so strong that it rose above it all. And yes, so yeah, there is hope, hope for
Yeah.
love
There
when you
is
watch
all
this
different
movie.
kinds of love. Actually, I love that you said that because that's going to tie in a bit to number six for me. You had
Mhm.
started talking a little. The first example that you gave of the relationship was like the father-daughter. And
Yeah.
I wanted to focus on that a little bit here because I think something this movie does very well and also differently from other movies is that moment of discovering your parents are just humans. I think a lot of romantic comedies, I think a lot of coming of age movies are about making the parents or the adults the villains because we have to look at the world through the eyes of the kids or the younger generation. This film
Mm-hmm.
doesn't really do that. It makes everybody just be people.
Mm.
And Baby has this moment where she's like, wait. Like, I did something that maybe you don't like, but you did something I don't like. And, how do we figure this out?
Nice.
Because we're
Yeah.
both people. And I don't often see that moment of clarity depicted in a positive or even healthy way in movies. And
Right.
this sort of just said, no, everybody's making the best decisions that they can. Um, decisions that are in line with what they would probably do, and they're going to have to deal with it. And this is it. These are the people who are having this relationship.
Yeah.
And it's sort of true of everybody, but particularly that moment that baby just realizes, like, I thought my dad was sort of like a god,
Mm.
or he was like my hero, but he's actually he's a man.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
Yeah, it's
um
quite rational. Yes, yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah, I love that it shows that.
Yes, it's true. I love that scene, of course, when they talk together on the deck, and he is obviously very hurt, the father, and he lets a bit of course, his emotion take the better of him, but then she sort of comes to him and talks him down, or not talks him down, but talks to him, and you can see he realized he made a bit of a mistake, but somehow he still is so proud that he doesn't really make the step yet. But in that sense, it's quite tough, I think, as a child to stand up for yourself without being too aggressive, with doing it in a way that it's not aggressive as well. So that portrayal of no aggression, no fights, stay rational, but make your point come across with even your loved ones, your favorite people, which is sometimes the hardest, of course. So yeah, absolutely.
Mm.
Yeah, that was a special moment for me as well.
Mm. Well,
Yeah,
so
that was,
that's what I had for number 6. What do you have
yeah.
for number 5?
Yeah, also, of course, the beautiful part of the water scene. I mean, the whole process. Yeah, the whole process of getting ready for something, which feels very close to my heart, to me as well, because a bit from the fact of that she's so determined and focused, and if she gonna do something, she will not let anything bring her bring her down. So I felt quite similar in that sense. And so I enjoyed the whole process of also the fact that she just goes with whatever he wants, but at some stage she's like, hold on a minute. It's you need to calm down and stay calm in that way, otherwise nothing will come out of it. And then they do the water scene and learning this big lift, which is scary. I've done it myself with my partner, exhibition partner Victor da Silva nowadays, and the first time he made me do it, I was like, I like my feet on the floor, I don't want to go up there. But then there is this sense of trust, and the trust in a partner is not given. That you might be dancing with the best partner in the world, it's still like a sense of human trust, and actually being ready to give into that trust, or go with that trust, and yeah, give and receiving. And so what I like is the way they get themselves, both of them, actually, him as well, like the way he explained to her how to balance and how to find the flow and the energy and the right momentum for the figure, for the lift. So that's beautiful. And of course, the fun aside that as well. And you can feel the emotions between them, the feeling between them starting to arise. So yes, this is, I guess, also very, very, very important part of dancing is the whole preparation, the whole process, how you get ready for something, but without losing a bit the fun and the yeah, what's the word? Not to get too self-centered and anxious, but actually the understanding of the two people are under pressure, and you need to get ready for something, but you can't just be too tight about it. You have to let it flow, feel the changes, the rise and fall in that way. So that's also something that I noticed, the understanding very much between the two, how they dealt with the stress, and yeah, the dealing with stress, which is not so easy, of course, for anyone. And then they helped each other like this. She helped him, and then I think he also helped her. Yeah, so that's a beautiful part. And of course, the after, the uh, after show, when they are actually completely relaxed, and then that's when, yeah, a little bit more spice comes in. But maybe
It sure
that's your
does.
number four.
It's not, but I really enjoy that you brought all that in, that the building of the trust is a process. A lot of times now, I think in dance films and in dance competition shows, there's an emphasis on throwing as many lifts into a dance as you possibly can. It's like, doing as many tricks as possible. I love
Mhm.
that this movie had this one big lift because it kind of was it was like the
After,
message of the whole movie wrapped up in one. They were
yeah.
not they even though they had worked on that lift and they had done the preparation, like you said, for
Mhm.
the Sheldrake dance that they did, they weren't
Mhm.
ready to do it yet. Maybe they
Yeah,
were technically ready, but they weren't fully ready to trust each other
yeah,
that way and to have that freedom. So it
yeah,
takes us the whole film until the final moments of this
yeah.
movie for them to feel so fully trusting of each other and so fully ready to be like free in that way that they
Mm.
can actually do this lift that they've worked towards. So
Mhm.
it's this real like achievement for all of us at the
Yeah.
end.
Yes, yes, yes. I mean, yes. Yeah, exactly. You can never be certain. Like I think I could feel that blockage that they had prepared, they had done everything they could do, and still on that moment when it's about to happen, something goes wrong inside of you and you freeze and then you but the way she covered up as well. So it's cute. I mean, it's how you deal with this. Again, it's the best performer is not only the one who perfects everything to the maximum and makes it happen perfectly, but it's sometimes how you deal with the situation and to be in the moment and to be completely free to adapt and manipulate yourself according to the situation. And that's something that was also, yeah, quite clear in that moment, how they really reacted. And also this awareness of the surrounding. And she felt there was some disturbances happening with the older people walking by, and she got a little bit like disturbed by it, I guess. But so, nevertheless, it's how the show must go on, let's say.
Yeah, yeah,
But, and also very much what you said, sorry, I like that climax at the end. I think, like at the end, it's also this full release of let's just do it, basically. I have only
yeah.
my last, or like one chance, one opportunity. It's time to let go and do it. And I think that construction of the movie was nicely built that way, that you could really feel the release of emotions at the end and a true focus on doing it.
Yeah. Well, let me bring in for number four. I wanted to focus a little bit more on Johnny Castle, Patrick Swayze.
Mhm.
What a great person to be in this movie. I wanted to talk a little bit about the speech he makes before they do that final dance. He
Mhm.
says a lot of great things. He's being very open, very honest. He's trying to clear his name, sort of. He wants to do his kind of dancing with a great partner. He says, somebody who's taught me about the kind of person I want to be. The thing I wanted to focus on here is that he actually uses her real name. Um, he says, Miss Frances Houseman. And she had revealed her name to him earlier in the movie. But
Mhm.
that was the only time we had ever heard it. She's always been referred to as baby by everybody, by her sister, by her parents, by everybody that she meets. And for the first time, somebody calls her by her real name. He thinks
Mhm.
it's a really grown up name, and she's grown up now. Like
Mhm.
it's time to call her by her real name. I think a lot of
Mhm.
people point to the nobody puts baby in a corner line, but I love that choice
Mhm.
that he
Nice,
uses
yes.
her real name right after that.
Yes.
And just to go a little bit further with that, I think Patrick Swayze is such a great depiction of just this like sexy masculine depiction of a male dancer. I think we've seen different types of depictions of male dancers in film and TV and in the real world. And I like that we have this example of a guy who just like
Has the
I
whole
don't know. Yeah,
That's
he's like it's the whole package, and he's very technical, but also very emotional,
mm,
and like it just I
caring.
love the way he carries himself and the communication that he has with his partners,
Mm.
both with Penny and with Baby. So I love all of that about him, but I particularly love that he uses her real name. It's just
Very
this great
respectful.
moment of respect. Yeah.
Yes, 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 that's true. Yeah, that's very, very beautiful in his character. I absolutely love that too. And yeah, it's for especially like you say, for a male who has all the attributes and all the looks and everything is given to to still be humble and respectful to the partner and yeah, which can be a bit in a way because of ballroom dancing. Maybe the reputation is a bit that the man is higher than the woman and so on. So it can affect it can in fact let's say infect like a virus the person. And I notice it more often with men, although it's maybe wrong to say, but yeah, I kind of notice it quite often in our ballroom world as well, that men tend to be a bit more bossy and more dominant and less respectful to the partner. So that's absolutely something to learn from, something to see. But she also demanded that a little bit from him in her own genuine, soft ways. She definitely demanded that, and yeah, and even when she nearly, I mean, that was a bit going to my number three,
Mhm.
if I can, or sorry,
Yes, go for it.
did
Number three.
uh, was that she nearly lost the hope. She nearly lost hope. She thought, okay, he's given up. The industry beat him, basically. The way people pushed him down, that got the better of him. So she had given up on him a little bit. Uh, and then he came back, of course, and in full swing, let's say, and it made her realize that yeah, the hope is still there. And so in that sense, yeah, also this hope that there is chance for love to stay alive, but for someone to not be too affected by what's going on around them. And even for her, being a strong woman, being so focused, you could feel that wave when she had, okay, she's given up now, but then something happened and it changes the whole dynamic of things. And then also the fact of what is for me also quite special is that she came from quite a rich background. Socially, the family was quite rich and he was not. So the attraction that was built a bit through the dancing as well, uh, I guess. Or do you think actually they got in love because of dancing, or was it maybe that she actually just loved him as a person? That's not exactly clear for me, but
Yeah. I think they see each other as people.
mm,
I think they have this ability to connect directly with each other despite, any unevenness there might be. Like he is a better dancer than her. She has
mm,
more money than him, but there's something extremely equal about
yeah,
them. And I
yeah,
think to the point that you made for number three, the that idea that she loses hope.
yeah,
And in that moment when she loses hope, he sort of demands that she reinstill it in herself. Because he
yeah,
was the cynical one at first.
yeah,
And she was the hopeful one, and she
yeah,
believed that they could, you could conquer any challenge that you needed
yes,
to. And she gets to this moment where she doesn't believe that anymore. He says, "No, no, no. No,
mm,
you're not like that. Don't you
right,
do that to yourself."
yeah,
And it makes her raise herself back up. And
yeah,
I think that's such a beautiful thing to see in a relationship
right,
where, you're not always going to have a good day or a good time or a good situation, but to be able to sort of lift each other up when you need that.
yeah.
Um, he is one of the reasons why she got the hope back.
Yes, I think that's exactly it. It's the same in dancing. You have to be in harmony without doing always the same at the same time, and you balance each other like that. And sometimes one speaks more than the other, but yeah, it's not just always one way. It's this harmony in owning your own stuff and being different yet together. So that's gorgeous. I mean, it's the same. And also, well, I wasn't having a clear number one, but I mean, also in the way the choreography is constructed is quite nice to see in the
Mhm.
dancing, how it's balanced. Oh,
Yeah.
with the beginning and a bit softer, and then they go into some more partnering skills figure with salsa elements, and then the first little lift, which is coming so naturally out of the blue. Yeah, and then the build up towards the big lift. So it's constructed also a bit with waves, and not just only bang bang, and not only too casual. And sometimes it's more about her, sometimes more about him. So yeah, it's a relationship in movement as much as a human relationship. But yeah, anyways, this was my number three. So a bit the hope and how he brought, like you say, he brought it back to life. He brought her back to life
Mm.
very
Well,
beautifully.
for, so for number two, we've had some really big topics that we've been discussing. I wanted to bring up a really small one that it's my favorite thing about this film. Um, that moment when she says, I carried a watermelon. And then Johnny walks away and she realizes what she said. And she goes, I carried a watermelon. Like, we've all had that moment where you're like, I can't believe I said that. I can't believe it. I can't believe I said that to him. And you get to watch it all over her face. Um, it's my favorite line of this movie. And also, when I was doing preparation for this and I was just looking up I was looking up a couple things. I found like all over Etsy, people have made I carried a watermelon stuff. Um, apparently, this is not just my favorite line. Like a lot of people love this moment, but it's that very humble moment of just humility of like, oh no, I said something that was true, but did I have to say that? It makes her so real because she's so self-assured for the whole film, and then she has this thing that she says is like, I can't take that back.
Yeah,
Oh well, we've all
yeah.
had it happen, and it makes me relate to her.
No, I know that. Yeah, that's definitely something to remember. That line, I definitely loved it. Also, because of how also her expression when she walks with the watermelon, and she sees all this, and she comes from a bit of an uptight world, and all of a sudden everyone is like wild and going mad. So yeah, yeah, it's a beautiful line for sure. I loved it as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, I mean, overall as well, my last one is definitely that sense of no boundaries, that there is somehow a sense of uh, what is perceived maybe as taboo for some people is actually just normal and a part of life. And yeah, it's like it doesn't also categorize you with a certain things. I mean, I think that we are quickly with judging people, quick with judging and seeing. And also that I also like that line when Johnny says to the father, oh, I don't remember the exact words, but I think he says, oh, I see, that's how you see me. That would be how you see me, or something like that. So immediately there is like a connotation of how you would quickly judge a person without actually really trying to go a bit deeper or understanding, or yeah, give the benefit of the doubt. That's more what I'm looking for. And in dancing too, of course, it's portraying as a bit wild and a little bit sexual in some ways. But when you look at it, it's just basically about energy, about movement, about sweat, and about throw. And yeah, I mean, and of course, it's beautiful. I love that feeling of energy and two people throwing themselves at each other, and not necessarily because you want to because there is something behind it. It's just about the fun of dancing and the pure enjoyment. And I think that's quite like a fine line in that movie. I think they went to an extreme as well. With that, they took a bit of a chance, a risk, especially in those days. So even I remember when I watched it, I was embarrassed that my mom was seeing me watching it. I had this little bit of a, can I watch this? And even now with my daughter, actually, a couple of days ago, I decided, okay, let's watch it again because I don't really always remember much stuff. But and with her also, I had to put my hand in front of her eyes at some stage because it's a bit over the top, but it's also part of life. And yeah, so
Yeah.
I
That
guess
idea that like sort of boundaries and things that are taboo, it's all a matter of perspective.
perspective.
And I think they put us in that world so much that by the end of the film, maybe we feel a little differently than we did. Because even
Right.
the beginning, the very beginning of the film, the whole opening credits is
Mm,
over like a sort of an artistically done backdrop of those people in the party dancing.
yeah.
And if you didn't feel comfortable with that at the opening of the movie, maybe by the end of it you do,
Mm,
um, because you get that beautiful scene of all of those dancers together dancing with Johnny on the way back to Baby, on
mm,
stage, and it
mm,
feels different.
mm.
So maybe our perspective changes during the film.
Ye- Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, yes, it's true. I think so. I think it has it's a bit lighter anyway. It's not so taken so seriously at the end as well. So it has a yeah. I think, but the pure fun and enjoyment and excitement within all the dramas. Um, and at the end, they all connect because of the dancing. Everyone connects, whether they are rich, poor, or from different countries. I mean, even the ones that didn't like each other, they realize, well, actually, what's wrong with you? So we're just the same. Let's have a little dance, and then I just like also how suddenly they all just dancing. The chairs are out, and they all dance together, and yeah, it's somehow dancing somehow probably still brings people together in some ways, even connecting with yourself first, and then yeah, so that was a bit my number one. I don't know if it made any sense.
It absolutely did. And so to everybody who's watching this, like that was our 10. Those were the things that we loved about this film. That was our list of 10. For everybody who's watching, what do you love about this film? I would love for you to jump into the comments and share your favorite things about Dirty Dancing. There's so many things to say. This is such a fun film,
Mm.
and there's a lot of things we didn't even cover. So let us know what you think about this, what you love about this film. And before we close out, Joanna, I wanted to give you an opportunity. Is there anything coming up for you? Anything that you wanted to share? Anything that you wanted to direct people to if they want to find your work? Let us know.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I mean, I'm of course still busy with performing sometimes. Next show is going to be in Hong Kong, so traveling the world. It's you can probably see it on Instagram, Facebook, and but I'm also teaching a lot. I have few opportunities to come to America again, so I'm not sure where you are, Melissa. Are you in LA? In LA, right?
In the LA area, I'm in Hermosa
Yeah.
Beach.
Oh, are you? Is everything all right with
Yes, I'm pretty far
fires?
south from the fires, so
Oh,
I'm
thank.
okay, but it's a rough time in this city for sure.
Yeah, must be. Sorry for that. It's horrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'll be coming probably to America in the next few months as well, and for work, for teaching. I'm mostly teaching and lecturing, and yes, doing a bit of performance as well on the side in the Latin fusion with some exhibition, theater arts, and also a bit of Argentine tango now. So, so it's quite nice. It's exciting to still have get a buzz of performing and get a feeling of, let's say, physicality, yet also helping others. It's this right balance. I don't know how long I can still manage this, to do both, but at the moment I'm enjoying that still, the process of doing the creative process of doing shows and preparing without competing. That's again maybe another level. You have to put your mind slightly in a different position, but performing and doing shows is still very exciting for me. So that's what I'm doing for now.
Oh, that's
And
wonderful. If there's anybody watching this who hasn't seen Joanna dance before, be sure to check out social media because it's a great introduction to what you do. And hopefully people will discover a love for your work if they haven't already found you before. And if you want to know what the next movie is going to be in Rom-Com Month, next time is going to be day 2, and we're going to watch 500 Days of Summer. That one stars Zoe Deschanel and Joseph Gordon-Levitt. And I'm going to be covering that one with another special guest who is Anjl Rodee. She's the founder of BrushCapades, which is a paint and sip company. And it's a very artistically done movie. So I'm looking forward to having that conversation with her. And it's a really fun film, very different from this one. But I hope you'll all join me for that one as well tomorrow. But in the meantime, happy Rom-Com Month, everybody who's watching. Go
happy
out there.
rounding.
Get love, get donuts, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.